Hi, this is Peter Deng again, your math instructor for Math 172 Trigonometry. And these YouTube videos is trying to help you to do your questions number 8 and 9. And I noticed in your homework, different students get different numbers. So I'm trying to give you just identical questions, but the different numbers. So you need to understand how to solve this, then you can solve your question number 8 and 9. So the question is: a small radio transmitter broadcasts in a 53-mile radius. If you are driving along a straight line from a city 70 miles north of transmitter, so suppose your transmitter is your coordinate 0, 0, and the 53 is a radius, so this is a circle. And the 70 miles north of transmitter, that means 70 miles, so it's in the y-axis, 70 miles north of your 0, right? And to a second city 74 miles east of transmitter, so that's on your x-axis. So the 74, 0 is your point on the x-axis. And the question is, during how much of the drive will you pick up signal from the transmitter? So this is a very good question. So I want to make confession. I've never solved this kind of problems before when I was a mathematics student. And this is a tough calculation. Conceptually, in concept, it's not that too difficult. But in calculation, it's really difficult because you have such big numbers, you have fractions, and you have decimals. So let me explain the concept first. Basically, this is a circle with a radius 53, and you have two points on the east of the transmitter. So that's your coordinate 74 for the x-axis, y-axis is 0, right? That's all. And the north of the transmitter, so your coordinates 0, 70. So basically, this is driving along straight line, and when you drive this straight line, you will intersect at 2 points with this circle. So the basically want to calculate the distance between x1, y1 to the another point x2, y2. So you need to solve exactly what is the coordinate for x1, y1, and the coordinate for x2, y2. Okay. So in order to solve this, you need to find out this straight line first. Okay, straight line we can use so-called point slope equation for a straight line. This is a linear equation, right? It's a straight line, it's a linear equation. So you use point 74, 0. So y minus y 0, and the y0 is 0, and the x0 is 74. So y minus 0 equals slope times x minus 74. Okay, so this is point slope equation. Then what is slope? Slope of these 2 points, right? So it's 0 minus 70 divided by 74 minus 0. So your slope is negative 70 over 74. So you time out. So negative 70 divided by 74 times x is equal to negative 70 divided by 74 times x. Now, when this coefficient times negative 70 times 74, the 74 in the numerator and denominator canceled out, and the minus times minus become positive. So your this intercept is 70. So this equation, your straight line equation, is y equals negative 70 divided by 74 x plus 70. Was for 70 over 74, you have 2 as a common factor, so you cancel out the 2. So it becomes 35 over 37 for the coefficient. It's negative. And when you try to do the future calculation with such big fractions, it's extremely difficult to calculate. So they want to do in decimal places. Because this is in early stage, we want to keep as many possible. So in your textbook, they keep 6 decimal place during the initial calculation stage. So 35 divided by 37 is equal to 0.945946. So your straight line equation is equal is y equals negative 0.945946 times x plus 70. So it's a straight line equation. Now you have a straight line equation. You want to find the intersects. That means you plug in y back into the circle, right? Okay, so you plug in y back into the circle. The circle is x squared plus y squared equals 53 squared, and the x is x. So y is equal to this one. So y is equal to here. So you just simply plug in. Now this is a little bit tricky. I want to confess to you. I've never done such calculation. So many decimal places. So let's be careful. So x squared, the first term, do not do anything. So this one is squared, so it's negative 0.945946 squared times x squared. So that's first term squared. And there's a middle term. So the middle terms, you have two terms. So it's minus 2 times 70 times this coefficient, 0.945946. That's your coefficient for the x. Then you have 70 squared. Then you move 53 squared to the left-hand side. So that's your second step. Now, that 0.945946 squared is equal to, so you need to calculate again, equals 0.894814. Okay, so that's x squared. The middle term, 2 times 70, this is 140. 140 times 0.945946 calculator equals 132.43244. Here, I think, yeah, because of 0, so you only have 5 terms now, x. And the 70 squared minus 53 squared is equal to 2091. So these are really big numbers. And this is difficult. And so let me confess, this is difficult. So I'm not going to blame you if you complain, hey, this is really complicated. This is not easy. Okay. So you combine similar terms. So you have x squared. One term is 1, coefficient is 1. Another coefficient is 0.894814. So you combine them. So your coefficient for x squared is 1.894814. So that's your x squared term. Your x term is still negative 132.43244. Okay, so in this graph, I showed you what is A, what's B, because this is a quadratic equation now. So we need to use quadratic formula. Okay, so what is quadratic formula? The quadratic formula is negative B plus minus square root of B squared minus 4AC divided by 4A. And because your B is negative, so negative B becomes positive, okay? Because B squared, square root of B squared minus 4AC is so big number, so in your first step, I do not want to calculate, okay? So I simply plug in the B in the numerator, plug A in the denominator, okay? Now I want to calculate what is square root of B squared minus 4AC. This is not easy calculation, I know. Not everyone can do this. It takes me a long time to solve this problem because this is really complicated with so many decimal places. You need to be careful. So B squared is equal to negative 132.43244 squared minus 4 times A times C. Okay. So B squared is huge number. It's 17,538.3512. I can tell you, in all my mathematical professional careers, I've never seen such big numbers with so many decimal places. So, and 4AC is equal to 15,848.2243. So that whole thing takes square root is 41.11115. So you have two solutions for the x. So the x you plug in back. So it's 132.43244 plus minus 41.11115 divided by this number. So you get the 2. Actually, this symbol is not exact. So based on both, you have two solutions, x1 and x2. Both are approximately because it's not exact. You are taking 4 decimal places. Okay. Now you have solved the x1 and the x2. Then you can solve y1, y2. So you plug in back. Your y1 is corresponding to x1 value. So you simply plug in this number. Okay, you get 47.2049. It's complicated calculation. And the y2, you do the same calculation, it becomes 26.6810. Then you're trying to find the distance. Okay. Now you have find the x1, y1, x2, y2. So you want to calculate the distance. Okay. So the distance is, now we know 2 points, and we know the distance. So the distance is square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So you plug in these numbers. Okay. Well, I can see y here. So it's a 20, y2 is 26.6810 minus y1 47.2049. And the x2, x1, I have to go back to the previous page. So you have to really careful to find out what is x2 and plug in. Okay, so really need careful. So this is calculation. I know this is not easy calculation. And I want to emphasize again, I've never done such a calculation with so many decimal places in my whole life. So it is not easy. So your final answer, the distance for this transmitter driving within this radius of 53 is 29.866 miles. This is not easy. And I want to congratulate several students who did their calculations exactly correct. And I really salute them. They are doing very good works. And if you have not done so, do not get discouraged. Do not get frustrated. Try to understand this whole video. Look my video step by step. Okay. So this is step by step. So you will find out how to get your work question 8, 9 done. Okay. So this I did extremely detailed calculation here, so to give you idea how to do it. So I hope this will help you to solve your homework 8 and 9, and the deadline is tonight at 11:59 p.m. So you only have 9.5 hours left. So good luck. Thank you. I wish you all doing very well. Thank you. Bye-bye.